We begin with the unexpected development that came out of Wilmington, Delaware yesterday. Hunter Biden pleading not guilty to federal charges after a plea deal he struck with the government completely unraveled at the last moment. NBC News Capitol Hill correspondent Ryan Nobles has the latest.
Hunter Biden was hoping his legal problems were coming to an end, but a judge in a Delaware federal courtroom had other plans. Mary Ellen Noriega, a Trump-appointed federal judge, refused to accept the plea arrangement agreed to by federal prosecutors and Biden's lawyers, telling the lawyers, quote, "I'm not in a position to accept or reject this plea agreement, so I'm going to defer it." It was a stunning turn of events. Both sides were expecting Biden to plead guilty on 2 misdemeanor tax charges and agree to a diversion program to avoid a separate gun charge. But the judge had issues with the parameters of the proposed deal. She also pressed prosecutors to reveal that their investigation into the president's son wasn't over, asking U.S. Attorney Leo Wise, is there an ongoing investigation? To which Wise responded, yes, there is. The two sides not on the same page for what the plea deal would mean for Biden's legal future, leading the judge to get them to agree that it would only absolve Hunter of legal issues between 2014 and 2019 and only on drug, tax, and firearms charges related to the specific gun in question. Meaning Biden's business deals, which Republicans continue to probe, are still a possible avenue for future federal charges.
There shouldn't be 2 justice systems in America, and hopefully today that's what's being done.
Under any circumstance, it means that Hunter Biden continues to be a political headache for his father, and Republicans are still leaving the door open to launch an impeachment inquiry.
It doesn't impact my investigation because the Department of Justice and FBI haven't done a darn thing to help me.
And it is a topic the White House refuses to engage on.
The president, the first lady, they love their son and they support him as he continues to rebuild his life. This case was handled independently, as all of you know.
NBC's Ryan Nobles reporting there. Let's bring in 2 reporters who were in the courtroom yesterday. NBC News investigations correspondent Tom Winter and national correspondent for Politico, Betsy Woodruff Swan. Good morning to you both. So, Tom, we've all got MSNBC on in our offices yesterday. Mike Memoli's doing a good job reporting out the story. And all of a sudden into frame comes running Tom Winter. Memoli passes the mic to you. You take over. Tell us what you heard in that courtroom. And this is so confusing, even to people who thought they understood this case. What exactly happened yesterday?
So I think the judge had some questions. There were some, she raised some questions as far as it being an unusual type of agreement with respect to the pretrial diversion. She asked some questions as far as, when she asked the prosecutor, is there any case precedent for bringing in the judge for the pretrial diversion agreement? Remember, most of the time, this is an effort to keep people out of court, to give them effectively a second chance. So the judge never sees these agreements. It's essentially you come forward, you have your first appearance, and then, boom, you're out the door and you're on your way. And as long as you follow that agreement, you're never going to be before the court again, and you're probably going to have your case dismissed. So all of a sudden she's asking questions. Wait a minute. Why do you eventually one day want me to rule or make some determination as to whether or not it's possible that Hunter Biden could have violated terms of this agreement? Should he do it? You're asking me to be an arbiter. She had some questions. Are you bringing me in here to be a gatekeeper, essentially, for prosecutors to file charges in the future? And she says, from a separation of powers standpoint, from a constitutional standpoint, I've got some problems with that. That's not up to the bench, to the judiciary, to make determinations as far as whether charges are filed. Typically, with a pretrial diversion agreement, we might see a situation where if somebody were to break it, prosecutors would come forward, they might file charges, and then you would go through the normal trial process and have it dismissed. So that was just one of the things that she keyed in on yesterday. And she telegraphed right away in court that she had some questions, and she raised this early. So it wasn't a surprise to any of us that this was not going to be a rubber stamp, if you will.
So what was it like, Tom, inside the courtroom? It appears everyone was sort of thrown off by it. They were caught off guard. They thought they had an easy in, walk out of the courtroom day, and it became something completely different.
Well, I've never experienced like that in the 11, 12 years that I've been here covering high-profile cases for NBC. It was really a surprising day because you don't typically expect judges to get into the real details. They have an absolute responsibility to look out actually for Hunter Biden, make sure he's of sound mind and body, that he understands the terms of that plea agreement. And all of a sudden, she's really getting into the contract language of what's going on, because that's what it is. It's a contract between Hunter Biden and the government of the United States. She's pulling this apart, and I think everybody had some questions. And then all of a sudden, you saw a real gulf in the understanding of what does this plea agreement cover with respect to immunity to future charges. And all of a sudden, you had the prosecutors, an attorney for Hunter Biden, Chris Clark. They're having a serious disagreement about what that's about. At one point, in one of the areas where the judge called for a recess, you have Chris Clark coming over to the prosecution table, standing not far from the distance between you and me, and saying, look, we'll rip it up. We'll rip up this agreement. And they've been working on this for over a year. This is a 5 years long investigation. So you can imagine for them the type of feeling that they had. You could tell as the day progressed, the tone in Hunter Biden's voice really started to drop as the enormity of, I thought today was going to be the day I would put this behind me after sentencing, but I've got this plea in. I've got a kind of a clean bill of health going forward legally. And all of a sudden, this is melting away before my eyes. And his attorney is certainly shocked. You can imagine the hours that they've worked on this. So, yeah, there was a real sense of, whoa, this is going off the rails fast. I've talked to a number of legal analysts. They suggest that this was these were questions perhaps that the judge definitely should have asked. And so I haven't heard anybody say yet that the judge herself brought it off the rails. It seems like there was some language in here that perhaps should have been thought out ahead of time and perhaps can be corrected with just a discussion between the two parties. But as we were talking about in the break, once you start opening up a contract, all of a sudden people are going to have their say.
A quick note, but I think an important one that you made, which is that every time we talk about the judge in this case, they say she's a Trump-appointed judge, right, which is true.
Correct.
And means that it's difficult for Trump and his supporters to go after her if it doesn't fall her way. But she's not exactly a ride-or-die MAGA Republican.
Right. So we looked at the FEC filings for her donations. She had donated at one point to Hillary Clinton, to John McCain, Mitt Romney, not exactly the hardcore members of the Freedom Caucus, and no donations that we could find, at least belonging to Donald, that she gave to Donald Trump. So I think it is important for people to keep that in mind.
Yeah, just some important background. So, Betsy, you were there yesterday as well in the courtroom. Your impressions of what you saw, but also where this leaves Hunter Biden now and where this leaves this case.
It's a big mess for DOJ. I was sitting right behind a group of Hunter's lawyers in the courtroom, and before the hearing started, I saw Hunter Biden and his team sign the pretrial diversion agreement. David Weiss, the U.S. attorney supervising Hunter's investigation, signed that agreement as well before the hearing began. And over the course of the hearing, Hunter's lawyers and Justice Department lawyers both reiterated that the pretrial diversion agreement was a binding contract between DOJ and Hunter Biden. Before the whole hearing mess unfurled, they had signed that contract. In the words of DOJ's own prosecutors, they had entered that contract. So the next question, of course, is what exactly did DOJ sign on to? That contract, the document itself, has not gone up on Pacer, where the vast majority of court filings actually go up. However, last night I obtained a copy of the contract and we published it at Politico so people can read the whole thing for themselves. The copy that we obtained shows that David Weiss, Hunter Biden, and Chris Clark, Hunter's lawyer, all signed that contract on July 26th. One of the huge issues, as Tom said, that came up in court yesterday is this question of just how broad was DOJ's promise in this contract not to bring future charges against Hunter Biden. And for folks following along at home, on paragraph 15 of the pretrial diversion agreement, it's actually very clear in very simple language that the Justice Department is promising not to bring charges against Hunter for everything detailed in what's called the stipulation of facts, the statement of facts. That's also part of now those filings. The statement of facts about Hunter's tax charges, as put forward by the Justice Department, Department and Hunter's legal team includes lots of details about Hunter's work for Burisma, the controversial Ukrainian energy company, and for CEFC, a controversial Chinese company that Hunter worked with at the time. Hunter's lawyers could argue, and the document itself shows that the Justice Department is promising not to bring charges against Hunter related to those companies. In court, DOJ lawyers said that they believe they could still bring charges related to FARA or related to allegations of illegal foreign government lobbying. But if you read the document itself, it's pretty clear that DOJ signed on to something that's much broader than what they said in court they'd signed on to. It's a mess for DOJ.